So the Dow has been open for 10 minutes and I'm going to see if I can record some of my trades and get something of educational value out of it. Once I come to the editing, if there's long periods where I don't say anything, I will cut that away. And so there may be some gaps on the chart because I've cut something away, just so you know. So the Dow has rallied during the morning hours because of a statement out from an American politician whose surname I am afraid I am unable to pronounce. But it's all to do with the G20 meeting coming up this Friday and Saturday in Osaka in Japan. And this has got the stock market all fired up, naturally. The problem with this, in my mind, is that this is more or less of a BS statement. So that's sort of the fundamental aspect aside. If I had been ready to go, then I would have sold a double top. So, but that's of course easy to say afterwards. I know that. So let me see if I can show you how I scalp and how it's possible to do. And I promise you, if I make a losing doo-doo, I will not cut that away. Give you my word. So the first bar that we got at the open basically didn't tell us much. There were buyers, there were sellers, and we landed firmly in the middle. We now had an attempt to rally, but we got sold off right up at the resistance level. So at the moment we're just developing an inside bar. You have to be a little careful when you trade the open. It might not be the best time for me to demonstrate this, but hell, I might as well just do it, get going and see what comes of it. Gold has been a hot topic. I had a long position in gold earlier in the morning, and I wrote this up here, and actually, believe it or not, well, you can believe it because if you're in my Telegram group you would know that is the truth, but I actually miraculously closed my position up here around at 14.12, 14.13. Very lucky, but I didn't think that this bigger trend was over. Let's compare the DAX against the Dow. So the DAX seems to be reluctant to sell off. I'll keep an eye on that. Audio working. All right. We'll probably cut this away too. Sorry about that, I got interrupted. I really should be so a pretty negative bar here. I'll be looking to sell short the Dow. And now it's just a question of where. Do I sell 22? Do I take a deep breath and wait? Let's sell 18. Worst case scenario, stop loss is up at 50. I'm not going to let the position run that much out of control. So looking here, I can have this ready and so I'm going to take profit now. And that was sold at 18 and bought it back at 06. So that was 12 points. So that's an example of a scalp. When you're scalping, you can't have remorse. You can't sit there and think, oh God, I wish I hadn't closed my position. You gotta roll with it and say, well, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take a chance and let it run a little bit below this. Was low here was 98, so I'm gonna try and buy at 90. Oh, there we go. So I bought here at 97. See if I can get a scalp out of that. The reason why I bought was because we got a low here, and often you see that the market will see some profit taking from people that have been short, and you will see the market attempt to just turn at a prior low. You'll notice here that I'm not trading with a stop loss, but I am holding my hand over the button. So closing it at 99. I know that you're probably sitting there thinking, well, that's not very impressive. It ran 5, 6, 7, 8 points against him, and he's just closing it for a 1 point profit. Yep, I absolutely agree with you on all accounts. But scalping to me is not about getting the market right, the market direction. It's about seeing when extremes are being reached or when stops are likely to be run or limit orders like to be run, and then hopefully jump just in at the right time. You kind of think with this kind of weakness that the gold could be headed higher. I think I'm going to take a small position. This is not a scalp. It's just a more like a directional call. I'm looking at oil for a potential sell because of the weakness in the Dow, but I haven't seen a follow through on the weakness in the Dow. At least not yet. Okay, I'm selling the DAX here at 63. filled at 62.8. Selling because I think that there will be resistance up here. Let's see what that looks like. So I can close the DAX for 3 points profit. See if there's a little more in it. When you're scalping, the chart doesn't really help that much. I'll take 300 euros. So I'm sold at 62.8. I'm closing at 59.3. A more personal comment. I always hate trading in the summer because the sun is shining. I can look out over the water and see people on the beach having a great time, and you're sitting in this sweltering heat. I haven't got air conditioning, and I'm thinking I should be at the pool or on the beach or something like that. I participate in a radio show on a Danish radio station, and I've been doing it for 4 years. And every year around this time, I get asked, "So, what are you thinking about this summer, this year?" And for 4 years running, I got it wrong. So in 2015, I said it's probably going to be quiet. That's when we had the big crash of August 26, 2015. So next year, when I was asked, I'm thinking, well, 2015 was pretty volatile, so 2016 is probably going to be pretty bad as well. It was just a dead summer. So next year, well, you can sort of guess the trend here. No matter what had happened the year before, that's what I was going to guess going to happen, and the opposite happened. I am not making predictions for 2019. I can assure you of that. Excuse me. So it seems to me as if there was some support down here in the Dow around 22. So we're only at 6 right now, but let's say for the sake of the argument, it could come up there. Then the pace at which it goes up there is going to be relevant to me, and hopefully I'll be able to explain that if it happens, because that depends on whether I want to sell short or not. Just going to see what's going on. Crude oil. I should really sell crude oil. The good thing about this charging package from TD is that you can actually see what the prices are up here on the tabs. Quite like that. So the Dow has just gone above a prior bar high, and I want to sell that. And I was too late because I looked away over my screen, so I just lost a good 10-point winner there. It's one of my favorites is a counter trend move on the second bar goes above the prior bar by a handful of points. The high here was 13, this one was 16. I call it the first poke, and it sounds a bit gross, but it really is just a reflection of that there will always be sellers waiting above a prior high if the market is trending lower, and vice versa. Anyway, I won't cry over spilt milk. It was my own fault. I looked away. Someone at my Telegram group was complaining about a technique that I have taught. It's quite relevant to actually teach this technique because I think you would find it useful. This bar that you're seeing here, the red bar, is what we call an extended bar, but it's also a bar that reverses an attempt to rally higher, and as such it's very bearish. And it is our duty to sell up here. But this gentleman was complaining about that actually he'd taken this as a long position and he got stopped out. And now he then shorted it, and now he was in minus as well. I think my gold position is going to shoot well. I have a stop loss at 14.03. I'm risking $4, which is about 40 points, but I've done it as a half-size position. So it's 24 points. I'm going to sell here. I'm going to sell at, what did I get filled at 10? And I can now cover it at 7. Incidentally, I actually think I quite like to keep this position, but I hope that this makes sense on how I trade or how I scalp. So I'm going to close it at 0.1, so that was 9 points. Well, there's something to edit away, a house alarm. So I have another trading account. I'm short the Dow in the Telegram group, but since I'm scalping here, it just doesn't quite gel. Okay, that's a good bounce from gold. So I'm thinking that there's scalp buyers who are buying below this low here and pushing it back up. So they're probably going to protect this area here. So I think it will be relatively safe to buy at 02. And I'll quickly flip over. Normally, if I did this, I would have it on two different screens, but I only want to record one screen, so I have to accept that there are some limitations to this. So it looks like I got this wrong. If you are thinking about doing this, it might be a good idea to have some kind of stop loss in anyway, just so you know you have a bare minimum stop loss. I'm gonna close this at 95, so that was a losing trade. I lost 6 points because I don't like the look of it. It really should have gone earlier. I promise you, I'm not editing away the crap trades. It's just it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right to just show you one good trade after another. So on my positions, I'm long gold and I am short the Dow, whilst trying to do a little instruction video on how to scalp. So the way you can interpret this is that there were buyers below the low of this bar here, but at the same vein there was also sellers immediately above this bar here. This bar's top was at 6, this one here was at 8.5. Quite like what we saw here, 13.5 and 16.5. So it went 3 points above here, it went 2.5 points above. So the second last low was 92. That's this one here, 92.5. I would consider selling that. It went as high as 90.5. It didn't quite get there. So it should be clear to you now that scalping is not exactly light work. You have to have a fair degree of patience, and then that patience needs to be substituted with very decisive action the moment that you see your entry, your ideal entry point is there. And if you don't like the look of it, and if the market doesn't act the way you would like it to be, then you need to be able to very quickly terminate the trade. And that requires some human skills that everyone has, but it just takes a little training to get into that right frame of mind. We have a low at 78, we have a low at 81, and now we have a low at 75. I'm gonna buy at 81. Hopefully I will, no, the market just went very much against me. Give it a chance. So I had to have a little patience there. I had a short position in the Dow on my other account and called a short position in the Telegram group, but I've actually closed it and I've gone long down here. So the Dow is trading at 82.83, and it might as well go 92.93 as it might go 71, 72, 73. I'll put a stop loss 10 points away, 71. Then I don't have to worry about it. I think I'm gonna add to this position. be a lot of people who are thinking that this market is headed lower. Okay, see if there's any sellers coming in on top of 87. Doesn't look like it. So this is a pretty good trade so far. Should have added 87. Maybe I'll get 89. No, they're not letting in late comers today. Ah, I wish I had bought 87. Shoot. So scalping doesn't necessarily mean that you have to hold it for just a few seconds. I mean, I've been holding this for 5-10 minutes now. Well, it was meant to be a scalp, but I'm still holding it, and I'll add to it now at 18. The way gold is rallying, I think we'll push higher. So I got a 35-point winner and a 2-point loser. I'm going to close this now here. That's it. And spot gold, it's looking really well. I think that's it. I hope that maybe that gave you some ideas of how to scalp. Thanks for now.